The story starts with our protagonist, Yuuma, a college boy. He is walking down the street when a feather lands on his head and a hole opens under his feet. He falls through it and wakes up in a room surrounded by other people his age. He looks around when suddenly a voice introduces itself as the king of the Guardgal Empire. He lets them know that they've been chosen to become the heroes that will subjugate the demon lord and his army. He wants to say something, but he's too much of a bitch to get a word in. They are in front of the altar where rituals are performed. The Grand Priest Edna introduces herself and announces that they will begin the ritual in which everyone will receive God's blessings. One guy offers to be first and steps into the magic circle. He was blessed with the flames of hell. Our boy is last, praying to receive a blessing that will protect him from any harm. He gets called and heads towards the altar. Yuuma was blessed with the ability to revive himself and others, no matter how big the damage is. They all leave for dinner. However, it seems that Edna is giving our boy the stinky side-eye. While eating, the guy from earlier, Keita, says that Yuma's skill seems to be pretty useless compared to theirs, which are the offensive types. However, the other two people there, Takuya and Kotomi, say that it's better this way since there were already too many people in the front row. The next morning, Yuuma is woken up by someone knocking at his door. The man asks him to help with those wounded in the fight with the Demon Lord's army, since he has the healing blessing. He goes along, happy that he can be useful. He enters the room when the man lets him know that he will be aiding the wounded by using his flesh and blood. They strap him down and start taking out their tools. Yuuma is scared as to what's about to come, but the man lets him know that everything will be fine, since he has the blessing of immortality. He tries negotiating with them, but just then they take off his hand and punch him. Scared, he looks at what used to be his hand and sees that it started regenerating, ultimately growing back. The guy picks his hand up, happy that it worked, and lets him know that they will be moving on to the next experiment. They continue experimenting on different parts of his body, saying that he should be proud to serve people in this way. Yuuma wakes up in a cold sweat, thinking that it may have all been a dream. But no, he fainted during the last experiments. He hears them knocking on his door again, realizing that it's about to begin again. He starts crying and begging for someone to save him, and that's when a magic circle opens up above him and sucks him in. Back where he was just a moment ago, the people have already started looking for him. The only place left where he could be is the labyrinth. Yuuma is lying down wondering what he did to deserve this, when he hears footsteps. The people looking for him have almost reached him. However, the labyrinth is full of traps against intruders, which only they can pass through using an artifact. And of course, Yuuma would be considered an intruder. While trying to make his way through the tunnels, he keeps getting chewed up again and again by all of the traps. However, because of his skill, the torment doesn't stop. He breaks down crying, asking why this is happening to him. However, he's not giving up now and starts running again. One of the men after him is foolish enough to start sprinting through the halls and immediately gets swallowed up by a giant hand from the ceiling. That was a curse placed by the Magi as another form of intruder prevention. They are now stuck until the priests arrive. Yuuma finally catches a breather, but something calls out to him from a hole in the floor. The girl introduces herself as Eva, and she has a bunch of pipes connected to her. Yuuma asks if she is also being held down here for experiments, and it turns out that yes. She asks him how he got here by himself. Yuuma tells her that he kind of brute forced his way through everything courtesy of his skill. Everything clicks for Eva, realizing that his immortality would be the reason he is being experimented on. Seeing this would be his only chance, he begs her to run away with him. Well, Eva has a plan. The pipes she is connected to are there to constantly drain her blood, and as a result, she is always feeling anemic and can't do much. So she asks Yuuma to share a little bit of his blood with her. Despite her looks, she is pretty strong. Shedding blood would be the only thing he is good at, so they make a deal. A bat flies out of the hole, slashing him and taking a bit of blood. With her new bit of power, she easily gets rid of the pipes. She approaches him and swears that whatever happens, she will set him free. According to their deal, she bites him and starts sucking his blood, making Yuuma realize that she is actually a vampire. After giving him a thank you smooch, she picks up Yuuma and they make a run for it through the labyrinth. They pass through the hall and she wonders why the Magi's curse didn't activate. The men catch up with them and fire magic at them, however they are unscathed. She laughs, saying that if they want a chance at defeating her, They should use at least this much magic, blowing up the castle. They see a crater in the wall and escape through it. Outside, the other heroes see Yuuma being taken away. The guy from before, Keita, jumps after him thinking he is being kidnapped, but Eva easily dodges him. Yuuma steps in, telling Eva to stop and not harm the kid, swaying her to just miss him. After getting away from the ruins of the castle, Eva asks Yuuma what he wants to do now. He wants to find a way back to his own world, to which Eva replies that in this case she will be his bodyguard. She promised she will help set him free, plus she's kinda interested in our boy here. The Grand Priest, together with the other people, however, have summoned a certain person telling him to bring back Yuuma from the hands of the vampire. They are even allowed to use that tool. The next day, Yuuma wakes up next to a waterfall and sees Eva taking a bath. He gets all flustered and turns away, but some guy in the bush ambushes him with a fresh set of clothes. The guy is a traveling salesman she used her skills on and made into a slave. However, she assures him that she will never turn Yuuma into a slave. They reach the big town nearby and stop to eat something. At least Yuuma, Eva had her fill while he was sleeping. After finishing, he is hit with the realization that they will need money from here on out. But Eva has a solution to that, hunting monsters and selling them to the guild. They reach a forest to start the hunting. However, it seems pretty quiet. At least until Eva flies away and the monsters roll in to grab the solo Yuuma. Eva comes back and makes short work of them, making Yuuma realize that they were being repelled by Eva's aura. He wonders how they're going to carry all of that back to base, to which Eva suggests an item box. Every summoned one can actually summon them. He is looking through his item box when a monster from earlier springs back to life. Yuuma covers himself, but in doing that he accidentally summons a magic circle, shielding him. Just like that other time when he got teleported away. Now that night has fallen, Eva suggests they crash at one of her friends' place. They reach the house and greet the man up front, asking if he has any spare rooms. Even though the corridors are filled with various types of monsters, their room looks very luxurious. He notices that there's only one bed. However, Eva says that she will actually be sleeping in her coffin. Or maybe he would rather sleep together with her. He gets under the blankets but finds that there is actually a monster trying to get comfy with him. After a long night in which Yuuma got no sleep, Eva says that the blanket monster seems to really like him. Everywhere he goes, he can't get away from it. She hands him a spirit stone, saying that it's used to house spirits, but it should work on ghosts too, taking the little guy in as a little guardian spirit. Yuuma is now at the Adventurers Guild, trying to get registered in order to be able to sell the monsters he defeated yesterday, which goes as planned. They turn around when Eva gets hit on by some guy telling her to leave this loser and come with them, but she rejects him, saying she's the devoted type. Now that he's registered, he offers to check Eva's stats for her. All of a sudden, monsters are actually attacking Eva. He says that he just found a switch in her stats for monster aggro and tried toggling it. Eva goes off to explore the area a bit, while Yuuma and the little buddy start collecting the drops. He reflects on how well things have been going since he met Eva, when suddenly he gets wrapped up and pulled away. Eva notices that Yuuma has been quiet when she senses an attack coming, which she barely dodges, again asking what they did with Yuuma. Another guy tries attacking Eva, however this time he actually manages to land a hit. Going by the markings on his arm, he is most likely an undead with holy magic, Eva's weakness. With Eva on her knees weakened, Yuuma is struggling to free himself from the binds. They suddenly disappear and he falls to the ground, thinking it must be related to weird things happening to him. He casts a magic circle in an attempt to reach Eva, which actually succeeds, shielding her from the attack. Eva is confused as to how he can use magic. He says that it's kinda unstable, but he can use some miscellaneous skills. The hooded man is in disbelief how he escaped the wrap, but it doesn't matter since isn't able to die. Eva flies away with Yuuma, but they hit the barrier placed by the priest, preventing them from escaping. They throw the undead a vial, and he casts a spell towards our duo. However, Yuuma blocks it. Yuuma is getting the hang of this. Maybe if he can use one more teleport magic, he can counterattack. Eva says that what he's using now is actually ancient magic, judging by the lack of symbols in his magic seals. Unlike modern magic, which has to be studied, ancient magic is based on intuition, so that's what he does. Just as the undead tries striking Yuuma, teleports his skill on top of him. making the undead strike itself, falling to the ground. However, the thing gets back up again as if nothing happened. This makes Eva realizes that there is no such thing as an undead that uses holy magic and is resistant to it, making that monster something else. The hooded man says that even he was surprised when the church handed that boy to him. Magic in this world was originally only held by magical beings, and while humans can use it, it's nothing compared to true magic. That's why the church made that thing. By taking a kid from birth and turning it into a ghoul, they created an obedient monster that wields the same power as a true magical being. Yuuma is shaken by the guy's words. However, the man assures him that they were mere orphans who they ended up helping by giving them a purpose. Eva knew the church would be doing shady stuff, but magic that distorts reason like they've used here is a taboo. The kid fires towards them. However, they teleport away at the last second, appearing behind the kid. Yuuma places his hands over his face, casting force blocking magic. The man is shocked that they've managed to neutralize the boy. Yuuma says that they'll be taking him and casts one last magic spell, vaporizing the last 3 members. Well, their first day at the dungeon was a bit unexpected, but Eva says that at least they got some interesting loot, as she turns towards Yuuma, seeing him on the ground. Yuuma has just woken up with the ghost next to him. Eva comes into the room giving him a cool towel for his fever. Even though he's immortal, the fatigue from the dungeon made him faint. Even though physical fatigue can be cured by magic, mental fatigue is a bit trickier, saying Eva as she pulls his shirt down. To cure his mental fatigue, she offers him a massage. He declines because such a thing from her would only add to his mental distress. Seeing as he still hasn't gotten used to her like that, she figures she'll go into town for a bit of shopping. Remembering that happened last time she was alone, Yuuma objects, saying it might be dangerous. But the housemaster calms him down. The town has a very strict policy on altercations. As long as they are inside, there should be no problems. So she takes her leave, appointing little Buddy to take care of Yuuma. Yuuma is thinking if what he's doing is right. The church is only after him, but because Eva is following him and now the new kid, they will also be targeted. Is it even okay to continue like this? The housemaster asks Yuuma if there is anything troubling him. He expresses his concern for Eva's well-being. However, the man assures him that Eva has a lot more at her disposal than they could imagine. She is in town doing her shopping when she overhears that a pack of direwolves have appeared in the forest. A man sees her heading out and tries stopping her, saying it's dangerous, but she's more than prepared. In the forest, the wolves have cornered 2 beginner adventurers. They attack, but the guy's sword suddenly flies away and comes back, slashing the wolf. The adventurers take this opportunity to flee. The wolf has caught the trace of a vampire, saying that he's now the master of this forest after being in it for 400 years. He is now trying to destroy the human settlements to further increase his powers. The wolf charges towards her, but before even reaching her, he is already in pieces. She lets him know that a young one such as himself shouldn't be so rash. She's long been fond of the town ahead. After transforming into a wolf herself, she asks if he actually stands on business. Seeing as they are dealing with at least 1,000-year-old pure blood, they back away. Eva arrives back in town where she is greeted by the men from earlier, letting them know that the wolves were just passing through the forest. On another day, a group of adventurers are fighting a horde of undeads. They slash away, however they just keep coming. That's when they turn around and notice a huge Lich King staring at them. A crow lands at the housemaster's window with a message tied to its leg. Eva is playing dress-up with the ghoul boy dressing it up when one of its arms falls off. They try putting it back, but of course it falls off again. Because he hasn't eaten anything in a long time, his body has started falling apart. Something not even magic can fix. The housemaster knocks at the door with some info to give them, catching our duo wrapping up Ghoul Boy's body in bandages. Davis, the housemaster, lets them know that a group of undeads together with a powerful lich have been confirmed somewhere in the eastern mountains. Eva says that this is a perfect opportunity to overwrite the ghoul's authority. It would require a high level of control magic to overwrite his master. If left as is, he would never wake up. Yuuma thinks that if they were to do that, it would make the Lich his new master. However, Eva wouldn't let that happen. Authority can be transferred, and Eva will make sure that the Lich will cooperate with them. Davis gives Yuuma a letter of introduction from himself to be given to the Lich. He warns them that there are a lot of venomous insects in those parts. However, Eva has other plans. They will fly there. They are over a forest when the ghost separates from them and goes off to a location. They land there and come face to face with a disturbing creature, making Yuuma faint. It's the Banshee that informed Davis of the Lich. She confirms the presence of the Lich deep in the forest. Its presence is giving the undead in there a lot of power, which is actually putting them in a lot of pain and distress. That's why she begs our duo to save them. They are not there directly for her. They are there for the Lich, but they'll take care of the Lich's miasma covering the forest while they're in there. Before they leave, the Banshee advises them to walk as you can't see through the miasma from above. The deeper they get into the forest, the harder it gets for Yuuma to breathe. The miasma is taking its toll on him. He won't die from it, but his fighting abilities might be hindered, so Eva transforms into her wolf form, letting Yuuma climb onto her so he doesn't have to walk. He immediately notes how soft she is before they get going. All of the running though the forest is making Eva's nose all itchy. They wonder if the ghost couldn't lead them to the Lich's presence since ghosts are attracted to Liches. They follow the ghost and finally reach the Lich's location. Eva asks to have a word with him, however he states that he has no interest in speaking with the likes of her. Seeing as words are not working, she fires a spell and jumps at him, but gets blocked. He again says that he has no interest in speaking to them. Eva spreads her wings out and summons an army of servants. They reach the wall of undeads protecting the Lich when Eva casts an explosion on top of them, looking like complete destruction. However, the Lich is completely unscathed, having summoned an undead dragon. The dragon charges up, attacking Eva, but she is saved by Yuuma. He keeps supporting her while she fights the dragon. However, the Lich has finally noticed Yuma's presence, noting how he's using ancient magic. He figures now would be a good time to take care of him before he becomes a problem, but Eva won't let that happen. The Lich feels a strange presence, noting that it seems to have finally awakened. Eva takes this opportunity to strike while the Lich has his back turned. The dragon grabs the Lich, flying away with him, prompting Eva to chase after them. Yuuma, now alone, tries following them on the ground. The ghost notices something and alerts Yuuma, pulling him towards it. He reaches a big crater in the ground. He thinks about looking down inside, but suddenly it becomes really cold around him, even getting goosebumps. He notices the ghost staring at something, turning around and coming face to face with a giant monster staring right back at them.